Hello everyone, and welcome to the review of a very interesting product, and I'm going to tell you a short story about it. So a friend of mine asked me if this is any good, and I haven't tested it. He saw it online and asked me, hey, can I buy this, or should I just avoid it? So I said, I don't know anything about it. I don't know if it works or not, if it's any good. He bought it anyway, and then he told me that you really need to test this because it's a nice tool and really works. And I was, I don't know if I should believe you or not. So I actually bought this thing, and now I'm going to review it to see if it really does anything. So this should be an air blower that has enough pressure to blow air and replace air cans. So this is very useful for cleaning PCs, notebooks, air filters and stuff like that that gather a lot of dust, so you don't need to spend more money on air cans. So this should replace all of that, and it's battery powered, portable, and it comes with a small manual. It has a charging cable. It charges on USB Type-C because it's 2021, and that's really nice. And it comes packed up in 2 layers of this type of plastic, which I believe that you love, where at least I do, and it looks something like that, but this is just a storage for this. And as simple as that, this is now installed and it should be working. It also has a brush attachment, so it blows air and you can also brush dust away. It has 2 buttons here, one for turning on the motor, the other one is for turning on a very useful, not very bright LED, but this will help you in some situations. And that's it. Charge port here. And you also need to know that this is sold in 2 variants, the normal power one and the double power one. The double power one uses larger lithium ion cells, so it has a much more longer runtime, should be better. Okay, and you put this on, and to start it you need to not just short press the power button. It has a protection so it doesn't turn on by itself easily and drain out the battery. You need to hold this about 3 seconds. And as you can see, it has 2 gears, low speed and high speed. It started on low speed and it blew away not only the dust from the table but also the packaging, the charging cable. So it does have some power, but we need to put that to the test and see if it really cleans up stuff. And let's do a quick test on this notebook. As you can clearly see here, there is dust gathered around the fan, so it should be interesting to see if that goes away. This needs a time to spool up the motor, so when you turn it on you need to let it run, and you can hear it that it progressively gets faster and faster. So I'm going to turn it on, and I'm going to use the first power. You can see that by this LED here. Okay, so that was not very concludent to our test, so I got this. As you can see, this is a notebook that hasn't been used in ages, and it has been kind of stored up very lousy, and you can see here a lot of dust on it, and it's very sticky dust, and it's in there. You can see it on the fins there. Also here it has a mesh. The mesh inside is white, full of dust. So let's see if this will do anything to it. I'm going to start with low level. I'm going to try to keep this something like this. So the dust will be seen on the camera. Otherwise, if I hold it like this, it's not like having any kind of dust because it's kind of weird on the camera. So let's see this way. So I'm going to power this on. I'm going to use level 1. I'm going to let it spin up. And as you have seen, some of the dust, pretty good amount of it, is gone, but yet on some areas there is a lot more dust, and it held very good in place. So I'm going to try on second level now, and I'm going to let it spin up first gear and then second gear. Alright, and it's not doing any more than that. But because this is rubber painted and it got sticky, so that dust is kind of glued there. But if you use the other attachment, some of that should get dislodged. So I'm going to try to use this with first bead. And there you go, that's the best out of it. So even with a brush, you cannot remove all of that because of the sticky plastic. Not even my hand will remove all of that. So that's how it is. Yet it blew out most of the stacked dust there. And let's see here, some of the dust is blown here because this grill communicates with this heatsink, so air passed through and blew out this. So there's not a lot of dust in there. And now let's see some dust flying. So I'm going to remove the dustbin from here. And you know that on this kind of vacuum robots, you have a secondary filter here, a kind of mesh screen that lowers the noise and traps some dirt, but this is not user reachable. And this filter here should stop all of that dirt, but you get a lot of stuff in there. I don't know if that is going to be visible on camera, and I'm going to try to see if that will be blown from there. Also, there's something visible inside there, some deposits, so this should turn into a big cloud of dust. And again, this removed a large amount of dirt, and you can see before this there were deposits there, and they are no longer visible. Also on this mesh here, there are no more fluffy stuff stuck between those grills there. So here's another test. Found this lamp. This has a very thick amount of dust here, as you can see, and I'm going to try to see how much of this I can blow out. I'm going to start with the low speed again. I think that this time you have seen some particles flying, and look at this. There's no more dust here. There are still some spots of dust, but the amount remaining, it's a lot less than it was, and that was on the low speed. So is it any good? I think that it is good, and it has plenty of power because it doesn't only blow dust away. It has plenty of power to push away things, so with this amount of airflow and pressure, it can really dust out things that you can dust out with cans of air. Of course, it's not the same power as a real air compressor, but this does the job. And when you have stubborn dust, like on sticky plastic, where no air compressor will help you there, you will still need the brush. But this brush with this one, with this, let's call it compressor, I don't know, it's not a compressor, air blower, is very efficient at cleaning stuff, especially fine things such as PC coolers, video cards. You can get the most of the dust out of the heat sinks from notebooks and all that kind of fine stuff, and you can just recharge it. Runtime is pretty decent, but you are going to feel it that it loses power as the battery starts to drain. When it's fully charged, it really has a punch, then it kind of loses that, and it takes more time to accelerate to full power. So as a final conclusion, yes, this does the job properly and it works really nice. So my friend was right, it's really useful and you can do your stuff with it. Also, I highly recommend you to get the double power version because of the much larger battery capacity, longer runtime, and that should also last for a longer lifespan because the battery will be charged less, used less, so it will not have so many full cycles in comparison with a larger capacity battery. So that should also make this live a longer period of time. Until my next video, see you and bye bye.